And our first story takes us to Cal Anderson Park in Seattle, Washington, where activists have been holding vigil to prevent a police sweep of the unhomed there. Now, basically going into day 6 of that. And there's a lot going on with that. It's a very dynamic situation. Today, there was a press conference that was held at 4 o'clock because they have also taken over a home that has been abandoned adjacent to Cal Anderson Park, the activists. This home's in a little bit different situation than Red House down on Mississippi down in Portland, in that this home was sold to developers to have condominiums, more higher priced property built there than the small home that's there. So it's a pocket of gentrification that's going on there. During that press conference, it was announced that the temporary restraining order that an unhomed person was trying to get to prevent the sweep in Cal Anderson Park was declined by the federal government. So because this was declined by a federal judge, I should say, the sweep could happen at any time. The way that the laws are set up, because the notification that was put up there said that the sweep would happen at Wednesday at 7:30, and SPD showed up. They had a little bit of a show. You can't even call it a show of force, but they put on a little bit of a show, and then they left and they never returned. And so they have, as I understand it, 7 days from when that notice went up. So your guess is as good as mine as when a sweep could be coming, but we will be out there at Cal Anderson tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. The other thing is we were there yesterday. We streamed for about 5.5 hours. There was a gentleman. We didn't get his name, but we had his permission. And he spoke some really powerful words. And we had multiple requests, both from email and our Twitter, asking, like, can you please segment this clip? It's 9 minutes long. If you didn't see it yesterday, Malcontents, this is worth 9 minutes. And it is not just him talking. There is also highlights from the 5.5 hours of streaming that we did. And with that, I'm going to roll the clip.
What the Parks and Recs Department is doing is clearing out the park so they can clean it. They have done this 4 times over the year, 4 to 5 times over the year. Because the Parks and Recs Department employees value their safety. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. Safety and security is number one, okay? They have a right to safety and security. We got homeless people living here. They don't have a home. They don't have public housing. I would say 65% of these people are displaced and homeless because of COVID-19. They lost their jobs, they lost their homes, they lost their apartments, they lost everything. So they're living in tents. This is not about Black lives. Understand this. This is about HLM, Homeless Lives Matter. Okay? We've been homeless since the 70s. We've been having this issue since the 70s. So what they're going to do.
When you say they, what do you mean? That who do you mean by they? What they're going to do? So who's they?
SPD is going to clear out Cal Anderson to make the Parks and Recs Department employees safe. So the Parks and Recs Department are going to come in and they're going to clean up the litter and the garbage, because some of the homeless, they do heroin, they do meth, they do clear. We don't care about the pot. We care about the other stupid shit. Dirty needles on the ground.
Yep.
All right? That dogs and children can walk on.
Yep.
I'm not cool with that. However, I don't care about the pot. You can smoke pot all you want. But I want them to be able to keep their property, their cell phones, their medications that they need. All right?
They're
Their paperwork.
They're bedding. They're warm bedding. They're warm clothes this time of year.
Exactly. I want them to be able to keep all that. I don't want SPD coming in and destroying all this shit, putting it in storage, and nobody has access to their property. Cell phones, medications.
Car keys. There were people, the last sweep they did, they gave them 10 minutes, and I know there were people that were locked out of their cars.
Now, here's the thing that was nice. There was like an alert, and somebody printed the whole thing and posted it
Yep.
all up and down Broadway
Yep.
and said, hey, this is what they're gonna do tomorrow. This is what they're gonna do. Be prepared. This is what they're gonna do. No. And everybody got high and drunk and stupid. This is not Black Lives Matter. This is Homeless Lives Matter. We have nowhere else to go. Nowhere else to go. And I hope this gets flamed and broadcast across the fucking nation. President Cheeto Head, you have fucked us. You have ruined us. We have nowhere else to go. Oh, and you're talking about money and jobs. Well, with COVID-19 and the pandemic, where are the jobs? We can't get interviews. We can't get hired. We can't go into work. We are left spare changing just to pay our rent and have food, canned food, ramen. We're not looking for anything fancy. But I'm sorry, America, wake up. This was coming. Now, blessings. It's the holiday season. I'm in gratitude because I just now got public housing. I'm not being selfish. I check on my people. But the rest of you out there in America, wake up. Be blessed. Wear a mask. Get the vaccine. Get the vaccine. Wear a mask. And be safe. Cuddle with your loved ones. Wrap yourself up in a blanket and appreciate everything around your perimeter in your home. Appreciate it. Be in gratitude. I'm in gratitude. I have a home. They don't. Black lives matter. Homeless lives matter. Transgender lives matter. Gay lives matter. Lesbian lives matter. Student lives matter. Wake up and let's go back to what we were before.
It's powerful. I've been reading your comments as it was going by, and that's why there was a little pause at the end there. It's really powerful stuff. I decided to run that entire clip of what he said because I will never understand how he feels. I will never understand. This is one of the things that I have talked about as the host on here. There are times that we as white people, as allies, just need to shut up and listen. The one thing I do want to qualify, there was a little snicker on my part. It's because the little snicker in there is because he did America. And that's something I do all the time. There were a couple other things where he said there, it was like, I would love to have this guy on the show. He's very malcontented, but he is truly malcontented for very valid reasons. Couple of things that I want to add because he was incredibly spot on a lot of things. The unemployment numbers for the week came out and they are extremely grim. 885,000 new applicants for unemployment. We're seeing numbers now as we're moving into the end of December that we were seeing in April of the year. The economy is absolutely slowing down. Lots because of the closures and all of the lockdowns. There's only one state in the country that's instituted a lockdown, and it's not even for all of its citizens, and that's California. Many states, including our state here in Washington, right, are wrestling with how can they keep businesses open, but at the same time keep the population safe. And we're going to be talking about a little bit later, and Jennifer has a story prepared that dovetails right into that particular issue. But he is right. Where are the jobs? And if Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, and I'm going to put them both in the same bucket now because they are talking, they claim they are not leaving Washington, D.C. until there's a deal. Donald Trump says he will sign a deal. The other thing that I will add, and I've been saying this, Donald Trump again said today, if they put a $2 trillion deal on the table, he'll sign the $2 trillion deal. Speaker Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, stop playing politics with the American people. The American people need help. In 15 days, because the reason I say it's 15 days is January 4 is that Monday when the courts open. Courts are closed January 1 because of New Year's. They'll be open on January 2nd. There isn't going to be a ton of filing on that. Then you have Saturday and Sunday. So January 4th is really that first day. Millions of Americans who are behind on mortgages and rent will start to fall into this pit of a $2.5 trillion wealth transfer if something meaningful doesn't happen. Mitch, let go of this corporate immunity clause that you want. Nancy, let go that you don't want to put legislation on Trump's desk that he's going to go out with a $2 trillion or $2.5 trillion package. Because you know what's going to happen, Nancy Pelosi? The day that Joe Biden puts his hands on that Bible and is sworn in as president of the United States, and you better believe, Chuds.
These are chuds.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
You better believe he's going to be sworn in as president because that freight train's not stopping. Even Mitch McConnell said it. 1 minute after he's sworn in, the Republican Party is going to care about deficit spending all over again. And the deficit is going to be the fault of the tax and spend Democrats, not from the corrupt administration that we had for 4 years, which has robbed the American people blind.